The Knicks have no one left. All of New York's rotational guards are all out due to injury. Deuce McBride, injured. Jalen Brunson, still out. And now, after last night's game, Cam Payne is injured due to an ankle sprain. We have updates about all of these guards, but these injuries are causing significant roster concerns. Unless your name is head coach Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau doubled down on this roster, and he stated, we have enough on this team to win. We're going to break down all of these latest reports today. If you're enjoying the content, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and make sure you have notifications on as well, too. If you want to support the channel, the best way to do that is to hit that subscribe button. And now, let's get started. The Knicks lose multiple guards. Tom Thibodeau doubles down on New York's roster. It's official. New York has been bitten by the injury bug. Jalen Brunson, Deuce McBride, and now after last night's game, you can add Cam Payne to the list of injured players for New York. This is the worst time for the Knicks to be dealing with injuries because we are so close to the postseason. With Deuce McBride, his injury initially wasn't supposed to be as severe, but after the Knicks released this update, it has everybody wondering when Deuce McBride will actually return for New York. Shout out to NBA insider Ian Bagley for giving us the following updates about Miles McBride and potentially when he can return for New York. According to Bagley, Tom Thibodeau said it's possible that Miles McBride returns on Friday, but then he followed that up with the following comment. But he also said that McBride has been limited in his court work as he rehabs that groin strain. So it seems like the Knicks will be significantly shorthanded when they take on the Milwaukee Bucks this Friday. You never want to hear a player like Deuce McBride being limited in practice. And honestly, this update is a little confusing. How does Tom Thibodeau say that it's possible that Deuce McBride will return this Friday, but then he's very limited in practice due to him rehabbing that groin strain? And obviously, with the Knicks being this close to the postseason, they're not going to rush any of their injured guards back because they need them back fully healthy when it's time for the playoffs. So if that's the case, it seems like Miles McBride will miss another game this Friday when New York takes on Milwaukee. That is going to limit the Knicks' backcourt rotation even further. Right now, it's just Tyler Kolek and Delon Wright, and really nobody else. If New York wants to extend another player there, they're going to have to move another player out of rotation in order to do that. We've seen Tom Thibodeau do that in the past, and if he's pushed into a corner, I think he might make another change again. We're going to have to wait and see what players the Knicks have come this Friday. But it's clear when you watch the games, the Knicks miss Deuce McBride. They miss his scoring, they miss his shooting, and they definitely miss his defense. So hopefully he can return sooner rather than later. But New York is not going to rush him back, especially as he's rehabbing that groin injury. There's no reason to do that. The Knicks want Miles McBride back, fully healthy and fully available come the playoffs. But unfortunately for New York, this isn't the only injury they're dealing with. After last night's game, we all saw it. In that first quarter, Cam Payne sprained his ankle. And even though he played through it, he tried to come back in that second half, but he couldn't. And he had to miss the second half entirely. That left the Knicks with only Tyler Kolek and Delon Wright. And come this Friday against the Bucks, the Knicks might only have those two available to depend on again. And according to these new reports, that's exactly what the Knicks have to look forward to, because it seems like Cam Payne will not be available come this Friday against Milwaukee. According to Ian Bagley from SNY, he states the following. The Knicks will probably be without Cam Payne for Friday's game against the Milwaukee Bucks. Payne sprained his ankle in the first half on Wednesday while scoring 15 points. He was not available in the second half. And it looks like New York won't have him available this Friday as well. This is an unfortunate blow for the Knicks and for Cam Payne. who stepped in very nicely as Deuce McBride has been injured and out. He has been starting well, passing the ball well, and scoring efficiently. But with Cam Payne and Deuce McBride likely out against the Bucks, it's going to further limit New York's backcourt rotation. But shout out to Mikal Bridges for giving us the following update about Cam Payne after speaking with him. According to Bridges, he stated, "I was asking him if he was all right," speaking about Cam Payne, and Payne told him he's all right. So according to Bridges, the injury is not that severe. But even though the injury is not that severe, New York still has to protect Payne from himself. We are only a few games away from the postseason. We cannot deal with any significant injuries right now. If the Knicks need to rest a number of guards so that way we're fully healthy going into the postseason, then let's do that. I would rather do that than have a number of guards missing as we're entering the playoffs. And if you guys were hoping that Jalen Brunson could magically return against the Bucks this Friday and save the day, you might want to think again. Brunson's likely going to be out just a little bit longer. Before we get back to today's show, I want to give a special thanks to today's sponsor, MyBookie. The madness is here. March Madness has been insane. High stakes matchups, intense confrontations, wild finishes, and each and every game gives you a great betting opportunity. And MyBookie has you covered. It's bringing back a favorite, the MyBookie Bet and Get. Place a bet on March Madness and get a surprise reward. Cash back, free bets, bonus chips. You never know what you're going to get. Sign up with promo code MM50 for a deposit bonus. If you don't want the bonus, no worries. Just let them know Recap sent you. Bet on any game, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie. And now, let's get back to the show. SNY continues to keep us updated by giving us the following information and updates about Jalen Brunson. According to them, on the injury front, the Knicks will be without Jalen Brunson for at least the next 2 games. As a side note, if his rehab continues to go well, I think that Brunson will be able to play in several regular season games before the postseason. This is important for New York because it gives Jalen Brunson some time to regain his rhythm and conditioning ahead of the postseason. This is the best news to take out of this situation. None of the injuries suffered sound like extremely serious or season-ending injuries. Jalen Brunson sounds like he's very close and could return as early as next week. New York should have a healthy roster heading into the postseason, which is another positive. But getting to the postseason the way we want to get there, being the seed we want to be once we get there, that's going to be very difficult to do with the limited roster we have available. However, if you ask head coach Tom Thibodeau, he doesn't believe that. Instead, he's doubling down on this roster, and he believes the Knicks have enough on this team to win. Even though the Knicks are dealing with a number of injuries right now, Tom Thibodeau firmly believes that the Knicks have enough on this team to get the job done. According to Tom Thibodeau, he said the following about the Knicks point guard situation. Who's next in the rotation after Tyler Kolek? According to Tom Thibodeau, Delon Wright is. We have more than enough. I understand believing in your team and wanting them to go out there and win as many games as possible. I want that too. But this roster is extremely limited, and it will be very hard to win without us being fully healthy once again. We've seen how this team operates against teams under 500 and against teams above 500. Sometimes we cannot win even against the worst teams in the league. Sometimes the worst teams in the league push us and make us have to be even better because they're trying to get back into the game. When I see that sometimes, it drives me crazy. How can we be considered a top-tier team, a legit contender for the NBA Finals, and we can barely beat the Wizards? We can't beat the Hornets. We can't beat the Spurs. That says something about this team. It says something about this roster. It tells you that if New York is not fully healthy entering the postseason, we are going to have a very difficult time beating any team in the postseason over the course of a 7-game series. Because without a fully healthy Knicks team, we are going to have problems defensively. We're going to have chemistry issues. And honestly, we have not developed the second unit at all this season. Maybe if we develop the second unit, we could be overcoming all of these injuries right now. Because over the entire season, the bench and a lot of these other players would have had time to gel, understand each other, understand their role on this team and how they need to play, how Tom Thibodeau wants them to play. But because we never really gave them significant time, now we're doing all of this on the fly. We are struggling to beat other teams that we should be capable to beat. And the main reason why is because we do not have a second unit. Tom Thibodeau says we have enough. Maybe we would have had enough if we actually developed the bench over the course of the season. Right now, clearly, after watching the Clippers game last night, and really all of the games since Brunson has been out, since Deuce has been out, we clearly do not have enough. And the players we have available right now, headed into our matchup on Friday night against the Bucks, it has me very concerned. We're likely going to be down all of our main rotational guards in Brunson, McBride, and Cam Payne. That means it's Kolek time and Delon Wright time. I don't know what's going to happen in that situation, but I am hoping and praying that New York can pull off a victory and add another W to the win column. Right now, that's exactly what we need. And this Knicks roster, even limited, has to get it done. But what about you guys? What do you think about the following injury updates indicating that Deuce McBride could return for the Knicks this Friday? Regarding Cam Payne, he's likely going to miss this Friday's game against the Milwaukee Bucks. And regarding Jalen Brunson, the captain is still likely to miss the next 2 games at the very least. Let me know how you feel about that in the comment section below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans, take care of yourself, your families, and each other. Peace and love.